Many ladies struggle to believe in themselves. They have very low self-trust, and it's something that is common. So if you're going through this, don't be afraid. It is something that is common and happens to very many people. So today, I'd like us to talk about how you, as a woman, can learn to develop self-trust. How can you learn to believe in yourself and be very, very confident about yourself? And the first thing that you need to do is learn to keep the promises that you make to yourself. For example, if you promised that this week you're going to work on, for example, your diet, stick to that. If you promised yourself that you're going to be consistent with working out, please stick to that. When you fulfill what you promised yourself, you do it in a way that your conscience records that and believes that there are things that you can do that actually come to actualize. For example, your mind will know that, okay, so I promised myself to lose weight and it actually worked. That means there are things I can do and actually it comes to a fulfillment. So when you keep those promises to yourself, slowly by slowly, the small habits come to be big habits. For example, if you're starting to develop a saving culture, say you used to go out oftenly and eat out oftenly, and you promised yourself to cut on that. When you start seeing a transformation in your finances, that records in your minds, and you start believing that, okay, that means when I purpose to do something, it works out. And in that, it helps you to be more confident about yourself and to trust yourself more than you did before. And something else that you need to do is learn to listen to your intuition. So as ladies, we have intuitions, and sometimes we see things and our conscience records this as, it's not a good thing. Don't do it. But there's something else that tells you anyway, just do it. What's the worst that can happen? And when an eventuality happens is when you start to think like, oh my God, I think I saw this coming. I just could tell that there was a miss somewhere. That is where you come to realize that if you listen to your intuitions, in most cases, you are right. For example, let's talk about relationships. Sometimes you feel like, this thing is not heading anywhere, or someone tells you a statement and you're like, that doesn't add up. But you're like, anyway, it doesn't matter. But you come to realize in the end that it really mattered. That sentence did not make sense, which was true because your instincts tell you that something is amiss somewhere. So if you learn to listen to your instincts, it really helps you to build trust in yourself, because you come to believe in what comes into your mind, because definitely your mind will lead you into the correct path. So that's one of the ways that can really help you to build self-confidence and self-trust as a lady. And something else that can really help you is learn to forgive yourself quickly. You need to learn that we make mistakes. We're human beings and things go wrong. We are not saints. You can not always be perfect the entire life. So then the thing that you need to do is learn to forgive yourself. If things didn't go right, if things didn't go as expected, forgive yourself. You're not a saint. Forgive yourself and move ahead. Sometimes it's hard, but just start by accepting that there is something that went amiss. Accept that you made a mistake. Because sometimes what makes us still lay in our bad habits, in our former habits, is we don't accept that we made a mistake. You still try to justify things that went wrong. Yet, in real sense, things have gone wrong. I mean, there's nothing you can change. The best thing that you can do is accept that something went amiss, forgive yourself, and move forward. So ladies, don't beat yourself so much. When you make a mistake, don't beat yourself so much. Don't judge yourself. Don't criticize yourself. Don't live in regrets for years. Because let me ask you, if you keep worrying, are you changing anything? You're not changing anything. And the worst thing that you're doing is you're worsening the situation. So if you did something wrong, accept and move on. Stop judging yourself and beating yourself for years, for decades. It happened, it's gone. Forgive yourself and move forward. I know it's not easy, but when you're intentional about forgiving yourself, trust me, you will get through it. All right? And something else that you need to do is, if you spend more time with yourself, if you have more solo moments, trust me, you will build a lot of self-confidence. Because when you spend time alone, you tend to think, you tend to analyze your life, you tend to come into that intimate moment with your thoughts. You tend to come into that point of figuring things out that probably were not you're not in a position to figure out, probably because you've been running up and down, you're with people. But when you come to a point where you sit alone and analyze things, trust me, it helps you build a lot of confidence, because you will talk to yourself, you will forgive yourself for things that have gone wrong, you'll congratulate yourself for things that you have overcome, things that you have achieved, and at the end, it will really help you to build a lot of confidence. And something else that can really help you is learn to set boundaries and respect them. Because if you set boundaries, people respect boundaries if you respect them yourself. So the best thing that you need to do is, when you set boundaries, respect them yourself. It's very helpful when you're building your self-confidence and your self-trust. And something else is, learn to talk to yourself in a very kind manner. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle to yourself. Be your number one cheerleader. Be the person that talks to yourself and says, you did well. Thumbs up. Be the first person that cheers yourself. When you wake up in the morning, be the first person that tells yourself that you look good. When you look at yourself in the mirror, tell yourself all the good things. When you look at yourself in the mirror, do those affirmations. Tell yourself that you're beautiful, because when you do that, you move out of the house. Trust me. For example, when you're moving out of the house and you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh my God, I'm beautiful, I'm cute. You see, those little things are very important, because even as you walk in the streets, even as you interact with people, you have already recorded in your minds that you're beautiful. Even as you walk, you have already recorded in your mind that I can conquer this, that I am the best in the field. So be very kind to yourself and be your number one cheerleader. It really helps you to build a lot of confidence. And ladies, the last thing that can really help you is learn to make decisions without involving so many people. Learn to make decisions without seeking validation. Because sometimes you're making decisions because you understand what is happening. You may go to someone else asking for an advice, yet they have no idea what's really happening in your life. So unless someone has walked the path that you're walking, don't seek too much advice from people. Make decisions as long as you're sober, as long as you feel that this thing is going in the right way, make that decision. Because trust me, when you sit down, when you're sober, there are decisions that you can make when you're alone without involving anybody. And that is the best time to make a decision. So ladies, I know it's very hard to build confidence. It's very hard to build trust. But when you use these tactics that I have shared, they can really help you to build confidence and to build self-trust. So lady, as I said before, it's normal. If you're struggling with self-trust and self-confidence, it's okay. It's normal. I know there are a lot of things that might have happened, but try this. So if there is any other question that you want me to answer when it comes to building self-trust and self-confidence, just let me know in the comment section and then I will address that. So lady, do this. Send this video to 2 of your friends and tell them that Lucy Wilbers passes her love to them. So I'll see you in the next episode.